Hello everyone, my name is Candice and this is...
I'm James. Good morning.
Good morning. So today we are here in Western Tokyo and a place called Ishikawa Brewery.
And of course we've got the brewery's brand name up above us, which reads Tamajiman.
Yes.
Tama is actually this area of Western Tokyo. Now with the cameraman, we'd like to go inside and find out what the brewery is all about. We've just passed under the entrance, which forms part of the main gate. And as you come through, you enter an entirely different world. The really thick walls that surround the brewery basically cut out all the outside noise. The brewery itself was commenced in 1863, but they've been brewing on this site since about 1881. As we walk down, the first thing that I would like to point out are these two wonderful Zacovia trees. Having spoken to somebody from the brewery, they are approximately 400 years old. And over here we have some of the water that the brewery actually uses when making its products. And if you could focus in on this, you can see just how pure it is. And it runs out of a nice bamboo pipe. And the sign says Tamajiman Shikomi Mizu, which means it's actually the water that goes into their Nihonshu. On the right hand side we have actually a very important building. It dates from the late Edo period, somewhere from 1830 to about 1868, and its name is the Nagayamon. Okay, Mon in Japanese means an entryway, while Nagaya means something that is long. Inside is a private residence, so we won't really go into that. But if you look here, you will see that the building itself is made using joints rather than nails. And up under the eaves there is a wonderful colour. Up here we have this round ball. It's called a sugidama, and traditionally it is the symbol that a brewery like this one, has a fresh or a new batch of Nihonshu, or sake if you like, that has been freshly pressed and is ready for sale. The sugidama itself is actually made from twigs from a cypress tree, and the people who make the Nihonshu in the brewery actually create them themselves. When it is first hung up, it has a beautiful green colour, but with the passage of time the green is replaced by this earthen brown. This one was apparently placed in around the end of October of last year, so approximately half a year ago. What has happened in the meantime is that the fresh green colour of the ball itself has basically changed into brown as the twigs have dried out. As to why cypress twigs are used, both with regard to Nihonshu and also in other ways, especially places like sushi places, there is the belief that the cypress tree has a certain disinfectant property. So the idea with something like this is telling potential customers that the Nihonshu that you have brewed is both very good and safe to drink. This is actually a bit of a throwback to the past. Earlier, when we first came into the brewery, I told you that now, in the modern world, the water that is used when brewing the Nihonshu and the beer as well, is actually drawn up from a body of groundwater which is about 120 meters below the surface. These days, that occurs via a pump. However, back in the day, before automation, all the water that was used in the brewery had to be drawn up manually via a well like this one. And if you look here, you have a bucket, you have a very stout rope, and you have the tackle. The tackle is particularly interesting in that, unlike with more modern pieces of equipment, this one seems to be predominantly made from wood. Okay, and down underneath we have the well. Obviously, for security reasons, these days the cover is locked down. But apparently, having spoken to somebody from the brewery, the well is actually still an active one. And we are now back basically where we started. And behind us is actually one of the kura, which is the place where the actual brewing and storage of Nihonshu takes place. Again, in that we've been given special access today on what would normally be a holiday, we are allowed to go inside and see what there is. So please follow us. Okay, let's go. We are on the second floor of the kura, and above us is the roof. And if you look down here, there's a whole range of brewing tanks. The brewing tanks themselves are huge. Apparently, into each one, about 3 tons of rice will fit. Once everything is taken out of the tank, there will be approximately 10,000 litres of Nihonshu, which is enough to fill up over 5,000 1.8 litre bottles. Yeah, the scale is simply amazing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's 8 tanks with the capacity to make 80,000 litres of Nihonshu. And this is only one row. Yeah, mind-boggling. So this is going to be the final stop on our tour of this wonderful brewery. It is actually the cellar where you can buy a range of different products that have literally been produced next door, whether in the Nihonshu brewery up here or down at the far end at the beer brewery. Okay, so let's go in and see what they have to offer. I've been told that the range of craft beer in particular is quite good. Whoa. Whoa, whoa, and whoa. I'm about to taste some of what is produced here. we have the most famous brand, which is Tamajiman. It's the one that's on the back of what I'm wearing at the moment. This is actually from last year. It was brewed last year from a very famous table rice called Akita Komachi. Akita is one of the prefectures in the far north of the country. The next one over is one of the traditional brands of this brewery, and it's actually been produced by using rice from the next city over from where we are located now. I believe that it makes use of koshihikari, which is another famous brand or cultivar of table rice here in Japan. When I mean table rice, I mean rice that is grown to be eaten rather than certain other types of rice that are grown to begin with brewing in mind, which is what I think I mentioned it a little bit earlier. There are other certain types of rice in Japan that have been modified over a long period of time so that their attributes are more suited to brewing rather than eating. Anyway, let's see what this tastes like. Again, this is the one over here. That is really, really good. That is really, really good. This one's actually been pasteurized, but it has a really nice sweet flavor. It's hard to describe. It's slightly matured, but it goes down very, very well. That's wonderful. Sorry. That really is good. So we've unfortunately come to the end of our brewery tour here at Tamajiman, or the Ishikawa Brewery. But before we head off on our next adventure, we'd like to thank the brewery today for having us and putting up with us and allowing myself at least to drink some wonderful Nihonshu. ありがとうございます。
はい、どうもありがとうございました。
本当に楽しかった。また来ます。
はい、またお待ちしてます。
はい、よろしくお願いします。
はい、ありがとうございました。
はい、どうも。